This 1 Degree Outside video is brought to you by Bell Tower Commercial Real Estate Group, reimagining and revitalizing properties across the Merrimack Valley. From property management to brokerage, sales, and consulting, Bell Tower helps connect the right spaces with the right people, strengthening communities one building at a time. Ready to elevate your property? Head to belltowercregroup.com to get started.
Weekend beach and boating, coastal marine forecast, 1 degree outside, Weather Network meteorologist Matt Noyes. And just a reminder, you can use our app anywhere you're going to be at the beach or even out on the water. Just set the location to whatever coastal town is nearest. And then when you see it in your saved locations, hit the 3 dots next to it in the list. Choose pinpoint. Pinch and zoom the map. Put the pin right at your favorite spot, even if it's out over the water. All right, in terms of the overview on what's happening this weekend, obviously swell from Erin is still a story, and it will be all the way through the weekend. The wind is going to start shifting. On Saturday, it starts blowing out of the south. Sunday, it increases out of the south and southwest. Generally, though, you're still going to be precipitation free all weekend along the coast. There'll be some showers coming into northern and western New England on Sunday. I think that probably for the coastal waters, for the beaches, it's not till Monday that some of the showers and downpours start to come in with a wave of low pressure buzzing on by. Notice that your rip current risk is still moderate in yellow, but high for most of us in red. Notice also where you're exempt from that, right? Any of the sheltered bays, harbors, sounds, inlets, you just don't get that same push of power out of the swell off of Erin. By Sunday, still moderate to high risk in a number of spots. By Monday, still moderate to high risk, so it really doesn't drop all that much. Now, if you're going to the beach, yeah, there's obviously that caution with regard to the water. At the same time, the sand and the weather on land is great. The beaches are going to be running about 80 degrees or so. You do have that extreme rip current risk. Otherwise, though, it's a midday high tide and a very high UV index for us on Saturday. Sunday, some of the clouds may increase a bit. It shouldn't be all that significant, though. Still a good day to be at the beach, aside from the rip currents. So here's your waves on Saturday afternoon. Again, where you get a little bit more protection. You've got a 2 to 4 foot sea versus being at a 5 or 6 foot sea when you start getting outside of Chatham or getting outside of Nantucket. Sunday comes down quite a bit. You're down to about a 2 to 4 foot swell that's still coming into play. A little bit of wind wave mixed in there as well because the wind does start to increase out of the south on Sunday. Saturday afternoon, you still get that gusty wind that comes out of the south and southeast along, let's say, Cape Ann, running up to the New Hampshire seacoast. Having that onshore wind also aids with the rip current. When you get both the swell and an onshore wind, that can help to make them a little bit stronger. By Sunday, again, probably a southerly or south-southwesterly wind starts taking hold. You do get a combination of wind, wave, and swell. And along the coastline of Maine, getting a southerly wind gives us the greatest what we call fetch, or time spent across the water. So what that means is that you still maintain a pretty good amount of wave action going into Sunday, still running at about 4 feet or so with that southerly wind on top of the swell. A reminder, if you love this stuff, we do discussions a couple times a week for beach and boating. We also do niche maps for both boating and for golf. We do a golf forecast discussion a couple times a week. That's all at the enthusiast level, but check it out, membership.onedegreeoutside.com. Hope you have a great and safe weekend out on the water. We'll see you certainly with the update on the weekend edition early on Saturday morning, and then again Sunday evening as we get you ready for the new week.